Okay, so can you remember that? That's all going to come to play later on. I'll explain why in a minute. Set of keys.
It is pointless.
Okay. And last but not least, the wallet. Oh, money in there. A lot of money.
Nothing appears to be missing from this wallet.
Does it not? Okay. So what's there to do? Examine the crime scene, okay. Ah! Banana ABC! The very first. Oh.
An ABC guide. The murderer's customary signature, covered in blood this time.
This is key now.
The gravel on the path has been sprayed with blood that covers a conical-shaped area, which starts at the body and becomes wider as it moves further from the bush.
So his neck was probably slit.
Apart from the wound to the throat, the body is untouched. No cuts, no bruises.
Very weird. But the
Sir
first...
Carmichael's throat was cut. It's a clean incision, a professional murder. The vegetation behind the bush has been trampled.
Okay.
The body is just in front of a bush, one of the only bushes in the surrounding area. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
He says best as Grace, little Grace, that's what he calls it, right? Right, no. Heads back to the bush.
Sir Carmichael had his back to the bush when the killer cut the throat from behind. A fatal blow that sprayed blood over a range of more than 1 meter. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Right, this is what we can do. Or we assume he doesn't know who struck him.
Have you finished, Poirot?
Chief Inspector, many questions remain unanswered, but I am certain of one thing. The killer has prepared his crime very carefully.
Quite right. He must have known Sir Carmichael's movements well to plan such an attack.
This time, theft may have been the motive for the crime.
Theft? But we found a wallet full of banknotes on the body and a watch worth at least £50.
Certes. I had forgotten these details. So we can exclude the theory of theft.
Right,
Have you spoken to the victim's family?
Right, I'm going to put it out here. That is wrong. So, already, so theft is a running theme in this whole thing, but it's the third victim that is definitely key, and it is theft. It's not that kind of theft that you think of, oh, like stealing the money. No. It's theft in the sense of they are related to him and they killed him to get money, or for whatever reason. Okay?
Chief Inspector?
I've spoken to the brother, Franklin Clark. I didn't get much out of him. He's yours. I must get the body removed.
Like I say, I believe it's good old Frankie. Okay. This is his brother. Yeah, let's go, Chris's brother.
To be honest, this inspector seems rather obtuse. I'm counting on your friend Poirot to catch my brother's murderer. Ah, here he is now. Please, Mr. Poirot. Mr. Poirot, this is my brother's secretary, Miss Thora Grey.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Poirot. Would you like some tea?
No, thank you, mademoiselle. I find it hard to digest.
Now, these two are co-conspirators in the whole thing.
There is something very viril about him. There is something very viril about him. That women like.
Right, so we know about that. And she was a co-conspirator in this, I believe.
There is something elegant about her.
First up. The old place. Right. Now
She has good taste, except perhaps in her choice of jewelry.
Indeed. So now we're going to start by questioning.
Please excuse me, I have to take care of Lady Clark.
So she's down there. Now we get all the answers we need.
It is not the right time.
Oh, right, yeah, this is where we do the final thing.
My brother's wife is gravely ill. You will probably want to question her, but I fear that it won't be possible today.
Okay.
Of course, I understand. Someone set a trap for you.
Now, the only reason why the other person left is to kill the person, to kill the wife of the victim, I believe, because they know that if Pearl questions her, she'll find out that Frank's gonna claim the inheritance.
Brother, who was familiar with his habits?
Everybody knew he took his evening walk at 8:30, and that he always followed the same path.
Everybody, including Miss Grey?
What are you insinuating? Thor would never. I mean, Miss Grey is above all suspicion.
Very defensive. Very defensive.
You're quite wrong, I'm absolutely certain.
What were you doing last night?
After dinner, I went to my bedroom. At 11 in the evening, the telephone rang. It was the police. I went to look for my brother.
Was it a dark night?
It was a new moon. I took a lantern.
So it was you who found the body?
Yes, along with the gardener.
Have you seen any strangers around the house recently?
No. As far as I know, nobody has been near the house.
Miss Clark.
Oh, Lady Clark must have fallen from her chair. I have to help Miss Grey get her up.
Wrong! No, it doesn't.
Hastings, while our host is gone, let's examine the drawing room.
But, Poirot, a gentleman shouldn't...
I take full responsibility. All you have to do is to leave the drawing room door ajar and let me know if anyone is coming.
Because I have a feeling there's stuff that we have much.
There are some very valuable objects here.
Alright, here we go.
Compass, point to the south. Bronze and magnetite, Han Dynasty, circa 210 BC, purchased in Hong Kong 1935.
The big key.
Sir Carmichael's collection could rival that of a major museum. Sir Carmichael's collection could rival that of a major museum.
And find what the weapon was.
It's locked.
We need a key. I'm all over here.
It is blocked.
It is blocked.
The cardinal points. This book could maybe help me. Each cardinal point is associated with one animal and one color. In the middle sits the imperial dragon, and out of respect, all the others are turned towards him.
Red, blue, black, and okay.
Turtle, the dragon, the crane, and the tiger. I think I've already seen this motif somewhere.
Where have I seen this motif before? Okay. Motifs, gotta look for the motifs.
I'm not going to leave now.
Here.
A tiger.
So, tiger is south.
It is an emperor.
Right, we've got the clue. Wait. I need to rotate it like this. No, I need to rotate it so that all...
The position of each motif is correct, but they are not turned the same way as on the table.
No colours. Well, we need to get the colours right now. So red is top. Okay, so we've got to go for
I think I heard a bang. Could it be this cupboard?
boom.
This is interesting.
Why the nose is missing? It is the win.
Ernest Logan, MD, Brighton Cancer Institute, 201 Dusk Road, Brighton, Sussex. To Sir Carmichael Clark, MD, ComSci Churton, Devon. Brighton, 1935, January the 5th. As a man of science, I owe it to you to be completely frank. Lady Clark, your wife is suffering from a generalized terminal cancer. I confess I didn't suspect anything like that during the first exams. But with the test results I have received, I estimate that Lady Clark's life...
So
These daggers are only ceremonial weapons. I do not think that the crime weapon is here.
well, no, there's one missing, isn't there?
Here's Miss Gray.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Lady Clark's condition requires regular care. I believe you want to ask me a few questions.
Firstly,
Indeed, mademoiselle.
okay.
This porcelain is remarkable. Is it old?
It's about 3 centuries old, I believe. Wait, let me find the reference.
She appears to be very flustered.
Right eyes. Quick breath. Oh yeah, so basically Ned Clark's dead already, and
She's unable to hide her emotion, and her makeup has been disturbed. I think that this young woman has just been kissed.
Yes, by Frank! Frank
Here? Teapot with Black Dragon, Gangshi period, end of the 17th century. It is a rare piece with unusual colours.
You have a good knowledge of art history.
Acquired while working with Sir Carmichael. I used to help him manage his collection and choose his new acquisitions.
Bingo, got it. So she didn't kill him.
And sometimes, he used to give you a piece as a gift. Is that right?
Gift? What do you mean?
I am referring to your brooch.
This old brooch?
Mademoiselle, you know perfectly well. I am talking about the magnificent brooch you were wearing earlier.
Yes, you're right. Sir Carmichael did give it to me. He valued my work. How could I refuse? He would have been offended.
Why have you taken it off?
I don't understand, Mr. Poirot.
Have you seen any strangers hanging around in the past few days?
No. Nobody has been near Cumside.
Tell me what happened last night.
After dinner? Well, I did some sewing and then I went to bed.
She slept with a man.
I was woken by the telephone at 11. I heard Franklin Clark speaking with the gardener. They left with some lanterns and they found the body.
Am I right thinking that something is going on between you and Franklin?
How dare you ask me such a question?
Mademoiselle, it is difficult to hide things from me. He kissed you earlier, did he not?
My goodness, with Sir Carmichael's death, I was feeling so worried. I was unable to resist.
Bullshit.
I am not judging you, mademoiselle.
Left and right.
The killer leaves his hiding place on the right-hand side. He approaches silently over the grass. Then he throws himself on his prey and cuts the poor man's throat. He then lays down the ABC before leaving. Everything appears to match the crime scene, Monsieur Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Because you gotta remember that he had a thing on his throat, and here he is. It's him. He killed him.
Oh, just a minute. I'm getting dressed.
Cast. Yes, it is Cast. He's related to one of them.
Mr. Kirst, have you recently returned from Churston?
Yes, indeed I have.
Have you seen the papers? And to think that you might have rubbed shoulders with the killer. Imagine that. Mr. Cust, are you all right? You don't seem well.
Who's the killer?
My apologies. My throat is burning and my head feels heavy.
It's ever since the war, you know. Since my injury, my head has never been the same.
It was him, it's Cust. But I can't remember who he's related to. I know Cust is related to someone.
Poirot, it's a pleasure to be with you again after all these years. I looked for a gift to thank you, and I found this propelling pencil.
An authentic collector's item. You spoil me, mon ami.
And you more so by sharing investigations.
Do not underestimate the help you are to me, Hastings. Intellect is not everything. There is also goodwill, and you are not short of that. Later, I will ask you to help me tidy up the room and bring some chairs. Our guest will be here soon.
Ah, is Thora Grey coming?
Naturally. She is a fascinating young woman, n'est-ce pas?
Oh, come on, Poirot. I'm a married man. Miss Grey has already been courted by Franklin Clark. Poirot, our guests will be here soon. We must prepare ourselves.
Indeed. Because they otherwise that you're going to question about the killing in a minute.
I should take advantage of the silence to examine them.
Okay, so we've got here, we've got... wait. Okay. So we've got... observe everybody. Okay, let's look at this one. Observe him first.
Donald is always on edge.
Who's on edge? Shaving cut. Tense hands. Dark circles. Okay.
Donald Fraser is very nervous at the moment, even if he's trying hard to control himself.
Now, which one was it who killed him? I know. Is this his new wife?
She appears to have taken more care with her appearance than the last time.
Is it? I think it is. Necklace. Earring. Looking at Donald. It's her, Mrs.
She's looking at Mr. Fraser out of the corner of her eye. Did she make herself beautiful for him?
She clearly was, sis. You know what, guys? Never talk to any of them. You will lose up all before we do anything else.
Sometimes I love a brunette, sometimes I love a blonde. That's what the song says.
Does he want to do the brunette? Does he want to do the blonde?
Sometimes I love a brunette, sometimes I love a blonde. That's what the song says. The song says, sometimes I love a blonde who comes from Eden by way of Sweden. But I am not sure that this blonde is an angel.
That's quite so loose now, Poirot. That did douche. Finally.
Franklin Clark always seems at ease, regardless of where he is. Something that's unique to people who travel.
And the thing I've got is so what else is up there?
I ought to concentrate on my guests.
Ah, yeah, right, thank you. Right, first.
I wish to thank you all for coming. I wanted to bring everyone close to the victims here in order to unmask the murderer.
Get to the point, Mr. Poirot. What do you want from us?
You are an intelligent woman, Mademoiselle Barnard, and I'm sure that you have already understood my intentions.
You think that if we put our heads together, we might come up with something new?
I am convinced of it. What I ask is that you search your memories. The murderer must have left some trace.
Yes, he must have prepared his crimes very carefully.
Tout à fait. He did not get to Bexhill at midnight in order to strangle a young girl whose name by chance starts with P.
Must we go into that?
Mr. Fraser, please get a grip on yourself.
Well, I want to help you, but I don't remember anything else. Nothing I haven't already said.
And you, Mademoiselle Barnard, did your sister say if she was seeing another man?
She never would have told me.
Why would she hide the fact from you?
Betty knew I didn't approve of her behaviour. Her flirting was spoiling any chance she might have had.
Tell me, mademoiselle, what did you talk about with your sister?
Silly things. Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother bought her a brand new pair. The day it happened, she was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
Your sister used to sing, I believe. Did she ever perform in public?
She dreamt about it, but she had a very bad cough. It troubled her greatly. She had to cancel auditions and miss lots of opportunities. A pity.
Yes, she sang well, but that doesn't tell us much about the murderer.
Qui sait? In any case, we now have enough information to draw up a relatively precise psychological profile. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Alright, it's all together now. Let's work this out together. So, clever. Bold. Self-confident. Yes, he is. Next one. Why is the killer? Of course he is. He's introduced the old Betty. He was gonna do her, and then she got strangled. He does. He does. It's cold and impulsive. Very generous, he lives beyond that, and the last but not least is...
So, ladies and gentlemen, we can now surmise without too much risk of error that our adversary is calculative, sure of himself, a seducer, of outstanding intelligence, that he has plenty of self-control, and that he likes railways. It's a good start. Other meetings may be necessary. I hope that you will be able to come back again.
Well, it's just that...
Is something bothering you, Mary?
Well, Mr. Poirot, you see, I don't know if I can come to London just like that.
It's normal that people helping with this inquiry should be reimbursed. Starting with you, Miss Drower. Please allow me to pay for your train tickets.
Oh, sir, I cannot accept.
But you must. Mademoiselle, I may not be rich, but my brother left a fortune which will be mine.
Ah, there it is! There it is! The murder of the sea was not done by the ABC. Actually, it was.
Mr. Clark, that's very generous of you.
But Mr. Clark wanted Cust to kill his brother, and or something like that. So it goes deeper than that because Miss Gray, I believe, wanted her employee out the way and his wife out the way. The wife was already ill, she wanted to kill the husband so that she could be with his brother because he was already with him. Or involved, I don't know. It's all confusing.
Well, someone has to foot the bill. Mr. Poirot, would it be possible for you to come back to Devon? Lady Clark has expressed a wish to see you.
But of course, I shall come. Thank you all for coming. We will meet again soon.
Very soon when we discuss it. Now, there are the discuss.
The meeting was most fruitful.
Really?
Hastings, I believe now we have everything we need to find a common point between the victims. Now it is time for us to use our grey matter.
This is grey cells, is what he calls them. Let's go.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Grey cells! Call them little grey cells what they are, right. Miss Ashton, cough medicine. Stay up on her voice. Oh, the fitness summer of afflictions! Yay!
The first two victims suffered from bad throat, and that was precisely the specialty of the third victim, Dr. Clark.
We have a lead.
It would pay to take a closer look at the medical records of Dr. Clark's patients.
We'll do so during our next visit to Churston.
I will do it myself, mon ami. You must remain in London just in case ABC sends us another letter.
They did!
Very well, as you wish.
Get it? They did? Because he's a dick. Okay, so...
Thank you for coming, Mr. Poirot. Lady Clark is waiting for you in her bedroom on the first floor. Please excuse me, I cannot stay for the interview. I've to take Miss Gray to the station.
Are you leaving?
Miss Gray very kindly stayed with me to settle my brother's affairs.
Ah.
I'll be absent.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. I've no...
Ah! That's all this is getting one station. Go on, station.
Nice trip, mademoiselle.
And... Okay, so first up, we need to investigate.
It would be rude to make Lady Clark wait any longer.
First up, Mr. Poirot. And myself in the mirror. You're such an egotistical man. Ah! Why did you reflection that way? Can I see his reflection?
It is not the right time.
Not exactly the right time for you, is it, Poirot?
It's closed.
Of course it's closed. Dooby 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 dooby. Oh, pause it. Hold on, quickly pop. Damn me. 2 seconds. Leave us some mini button bugs. I'll put some pizza on because I'm hungry. Okay, this is the case. Measure me. Oh, this is. Zeg maar, even poppen. Wat?
It would be rude to make Lady Clark wait any longer.
Would?
It would be rude to make Lady Clark wait any longer.
I realize it's dead.
This poor woman is very ill.
Okay, put it up. Oh. Bangers.
This woman is suffering. She is in no state to have a conversation.
Wrong, she is.
Mr. Poirot?
My respects, madame.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Have you seen the nurse? She should have been here by now. Oh, I'm sorry.
The telephone in the hall is ringing.
No, that is very true. Okay. I believe it's my friend Hastings.
The Clark residence. Detective Hercule Poirot speaking.
How do you do, Mr. Poirot? I'm Lady Clark's nurse. I wanted to let you know that I won't be able to come for her injection today. Might Miss Grey be able to do it?
She has just left, but I will take care of it.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. You'll find this...
Now! The reason why I left, I will get in a moment. Yeah, I think it's better for me. I will So let's go.
Skeleton key to open the medicine cabinet hidden in the lion trophy.
You can count on me. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
Oh, thank you kindly. Goodbye, Mr. Poirot.
Now, here's the thing. Mrs. Thingy is going to die.
Here is the skeleton key. April 1925, Aceh Province, Sumatra.
There's an African born lion.
I do not need to make it a... Lady Clark is in pain. I have to give her an injection
of morphine? Is that this probably gonna kill her? The nurse was meant to kill her, or Miss Grey was gonna kill her.
Lady Clark is in pain. This woman is suffering. She is in no state to have a conversation.
Here we go.
Lady Clark is in pain. It's closed.
Of course it's closed. You need these. Skeleton key.
Ah.
Thank you for your help. Okay.
You asked for me, chère madame?
Yes. Yes, of course, I wish to speak with you. But what was it about?
The murder.
No doubt. You wish to talk to me about what happened to your husband?
Ah, yes. Oh, poor Carmichael. Has the madman who killed him been caught?
Not yet, chère madame. There was a great many people in Cheston on the day of the murder.
Indeed. People go straight to the beach. They don't come near Coomside.
So, there were no strangers around the house that day?
Who said that?
The people who live here. Your brother-in-law, Miss Grey.
Miss Grey? Oh, I don't like her. Franklin wanted her to stay, but I insisted she should go. Immediately.
You are entitled to do so, naturally.
I'm pleased that you approve. The others have been taken in by her. But at least you can see through that self-pity act. See what she's up to. Oh.
This subject would probably be useful to me.
Okay, what is it? Oh, a silver comb. Combine with that. Wait, observe. It can be combined with something, maybe
This subject would probably be useful to me.
Okay. Then we can observe. We can now observe. Oh wait, so now if we go okay, so just use something. Over imbi.
The mechanism appears to be broken.
Does it now? Oh, okay. I figured it out. We need... Three.
The bronze comb is preventing me from positioning this one.
Oh.
The mechanism appears to be...
Okay, so just put it in 1, 2, 3. Bingo! So we're missing one more piece of the puzzle. And I believe it might be here.
This object would probably...
Of course it will, Mr. Poirot. They're not cars, they're music box. They're thinking? Okay. Let's go right way, so we're gonna go. Gold is first in the Olympics. Silver is for second place in the Olympics, and bronze is third.
This part appears to be working.
Okay.
The mechanism appears to be broken.
Broken.
The mechanism appears to be broken.
Okay, so it's broken somewhere else. Right here.
I have to put a new spring here.
Okay, new spring. Observe over here.
This couple appears to be having fun. Lady Clark and Sir Carmichael were very happy, but they did not have any children.
Meaning?
She is sleeping. I must find a way to wake her.
Walk it gently.
I've finished with this subject.
Downstairs. Gotta be spinning somewhere.
I must find a way.
Here maybe?
It is now the right time.
Why's it been so high, mighty? If it's a spring here.
April.
Nope. Okie dokie.
I must find a way to. I must find a.
Yes, okay.
I am not going to leave Comside now.
Well, where's the spring then, huh? I'll have to use a hint and then find it because I'd rather do it on my own sim. Spring. Maybe a bed spring? Maybe... maybe here. No, I've got everything we need from there. Really from there. You know what? I'm going to have to do it. Use igloo. Alright!
Firstly, I have to take it apart.
Okay. I can finally go and use spring.
I hope that Hastings will...
And then it is gold. So you gotta look at what they have written on them. And then
This part appears to be working.
oh, it's all working now, yeah. I don't feel better. There you go, wait for it. Wakey, wakey, love!
Oh, what are we talking about? Ah, yes, Thora Grey. Oh, Carmichael had great esteem for her, but for me she was nothing but a hypocrite.
Yeah, one thing to do.
Miss Grey was a hard worker, though.
Thank goodness. Fortunately, she was good at her job. I don't see why you all think you should have to defend that girl.
Well, I appear to have been wrong about Thora Grey.
So you all agree. How nice it is to be all of the same mind.
That she's an orphan.
Miss Grey did look after you very well, though.
Outwardly. But she's hiding something. I think she tried to poison me.
I agree
Miss
with
Grey? A poisoner? But everybody appears to like her.
It proves she knows what she's doing. She's...
Correct.
Well, at 11 o'clock, I saw her talking to someone.
Really? And what was this man like?
An ordinary sort of man with a very plain face. Oh, I don't remember well.
Was he a gentleman?
No, he was not a gentleman.
It would be best to leave her to sleep now.
So we know that Theodore Grey lies.
The telephone in the hall is ringing.
Ringing again. Hastings! Direct. It's Hastings. It's Hastings calling me direct. Get it? Hastings direct.
Hello?
Poirot, is that you? Hastings here.
Thank you for calling. Have you received a new letter from the murderer?
No, thank goodness. How are things in Churston?
I questioned Lady Clark, but I will not leave until I have examined everything of interest to me here. Fortunately, Franklin is absent, and I have a skeleton key.
Have you seen Thora Grey again?
Briefly. But rest assured, I intend to summon her to London soon.
She's a fascinating girl.
But secretive. I would like to ask her a few questions.
Poirot, she wouldn't hurt a fly.
Each to his own, my friend. Yours are pretty orphans, mine old ladies that have the maladies.
Poirot, are you mocking me?
No ill intended, rest assured. À bientôt, mon ami.
So in other words, basically I was just saying that he seems like the pure little orphan girls are young and beautiful. He has the old woman who knows nothing also. Why? Because of an orphan girl. She's more likely to be obliged to you and call you daddy. Like, it's a sexual agenda, okay guys? I know it sounds wrong, but I do not care. Like, that is seriously what it's like saying. It's like saying, like, Jesus loves the orphans and the young beautiful girls because they're more naive, they're more flamboyant, they're more, you know, oh, this, that, the other, so they're more likely to call you daddy and make you, and let you do whatever you like. Probably as an older woman who you have to woo because it's more, like, romantic in that way. Also because Poirot is a local so-called genius. I wanted to do all the games in order. So first up. Where are we now? Map. A map. Okay. Thinking. Interact.
I must need something to continue.
Okay.
This plate appears to be able to move, but...
Something is blocking it.
This plate appears to be able to move, but...
Okay.
This plate appears to be able... This plate appears...
I guess it's being blocked by something.
This plate appears to be able...
Okay, so we need to remove something from here. Okay, so we're going to use it on here. Release out for that.
Franklin appears to be very active. Franklin Clark appears to be a typical British gentleman. A good sportsman, a hunter, a traveller. July 1920. Alaska Peninsula.
Alaska. What is the lion? Africa.
February 1922.
Okay. So you got to remember them key points because they're key to the map. Okay.
Alaska.
Was the bear?
Australia. South Africa. Brazil. South Africa?
Okay, so I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know what to do with that yet. Ah, here! Right. Thinking. Okay. So let's have a little look.
A Chinese symbol is engraved.
I don't think they'll figure this one out.
Well, well. The characters engraven.
Oh, wait, no.
This character appears to be the wrong. Maybe I should look.
Ah, the padlock! Right, look at the padlock. Look at the padlock. It's that way around, so it's the other way around. Okay.
The position of this character.
That's one down.
That's it. This character.
That's two down.
It's only a.
Wait.
No, it's not the right code.
Oh wait,
That's it. This character appears to be.
The first one is going to be the one closest to the edge. Am I correct?
That's it. This character.
So we've got the code now, so we now know it's that. Alright, I answered that one automatically. Nice.
At last, the cupboard is open.
Okay, now what's inside the cupboard though? What is inside?
The Railway Children, E. Nesbit. For Franklin, und Effie's Christmas, 1910. Helmet, flask, and rifles. Franklin is very well equipped.
No, okay.
Genteel and wild. English countryside revisited. Traveling in China, a practical guide for English travelers.
Well, very intriguing. But where's that tell us? That's a bit more confusing.
How am I going to open this trunk?
Let's just examine it. Okay, first up. Oh, there's something here. $37 China. 1927, okay? That's gonna be something to do with something.
Leaving the code on the trunk. What a strange character, Frank.
20. Okay, so we've got to find the black ones and the red ones to line them up. Five. Once again, 31. So 28. Be the last digit. Should be. Oh, wait. Seven. Plus. Six. Seven is the hour. Oh no, 7:20. Right. So you go to the 4, you go to the 7.
So, what is this?
Yes,
I should be able to open the trunk now. There we are. A pile of books, including one about dragons. Nothing interesting.
no need. George.
Why has Franklin put an Allen key inside his... Whiskey and other good quality drinks. Mr. Clark really has refined tastes.
There's that. But maybe I'll get using here to make it so we can move these things around. I don't know. I'm just literally clutching the torso now. We need to get the other thing. Give me a minute, guys. I'm we need to go. Expected, man. I was gonna put anyway. Oh, this is just the Anarchy was saying. I just need to go back into the woods again.
How am I going to open?
So it's 1927.
Leaving the code on the...
And then it was 20.
So, what is... I should be able to open... There we are. Why has Franklin... Whiskey and other good quality...
Guys, are dangerous in here. I forgot to mention that.
A pile of books. An Allen key. Another screw. This engraving is not very easy to...
Ah, right.
It is blocked. Franklin must really love his country to have an engraving in his trunk. I think I heard the panel above release.
They just need to match up the bottom part, that grey part.
A signet ring? A signet ring with a code written on it. 1587. It may be useful to me.
I know where he's gonna go. Oh, there's the other guys here.
The plates around the picture appear to have unlocked. I think I've already seen these symbols on Franklin's trophies.
Really?
The African kudu. The Alaskan Kodiak bear.
Yes. So where does the lion fit into this? Lion. Maybe a lion. Bad. Okay, monkey. Lion. You're a monkey. You're a monkey. You're a bird. Bird, bird.
The lion of Sumatra. I heard the sound of a mechanism. Strange way of protecting one's...
What was it?
A signet ring. A signet ring bearing the Clark's family's... These documents are very light. Eton College School year. School report for Frank. It does. Sir Carmack. Dear Franklin. Things go. She hasn't. You wrote me you want to stay in China for 1 more year. I am, dear Frank. Charlotte Clark Comside Churston, Devon. To Mr. Franklin. I wish you with all... At home, everything annoys me. Starting with this young Thora. I opened the secret... Sir, I know. But my husband doesn't know I know. Please don't tell him. And if he shares the truth with you, it does matter to me that you are aware of what happens in Comside. I see some papers that were not there the first time I visited. Valuers report property. Building land located in Comside.
Is that it? Wait, no.
Valuers report property. Court and Brunskill. The name is familiar. These daggers are only ceremonial.
The will.
Ernest Logan. Lady Clark, your... I estimate that Lady Clark's life expectancy... A dark dragon for a bright-haired maid. C. I've already seen similar daggers.
Here we go. Ready?
Attention, Franklin. Task list. A. Ordering Lady Clark remedies. Done. B. Tidying up real estate property files. E.
Ooh, the plot thickens. I love it when a game does this. Now I think, what would it be? You reckon now? Yes. Frank. Is I'm going to do it. Do all that.
Comside's private collection, purchases since 1920. The catalogue for circa. Order and method above all. Let us finish exactly. The door is locked. This unit contains the medical records for Sir Carmichael Clark's patients. Let us study them closely and see if there are any familiar names. No deaths on the records from A to D. They've been handled recently. No known names. Disappointing. Lots of dust. The records from E to Z have not been touched for years. No known names. Disappointing. Sir Carmichael's
Oh, thank you for the map.
traditional Chinese map. Facsimile. South is on the top of the map. There are some very valuable objects here. Compass, point to the... Order and method of... The Black Dragon's Curse. To Franklin, who will never grow up. Miss Thorogray, Comside, Justin, Devon. Arsenic trioxide thallium.
Okay, go.
I am not going to leave Comside now. I still have some things to do.
Mr. Paul.
Where is the horrible smell of carrion coming from? Something makes me feel uncomfortable. Brown pellets. Revolting. Tut-tut. The gardener does not follow the alignment. There, that's better. There, that's better. It is symmetrical.
Investigate. What feature?
This fountain makes a very relaxing sound.
Oh, got it. Oh, hold on. But I can't. Oh, okay.
It was probably the gardener who lit this fire. Look here. I wonder if someone wanted to get rid of these papers.
They did?
This object will probably be useful to me. Let us now try and get our Brent's...
Right.
Everything that Thorogray has left behind comes from Sir Carmichael's collection. He most probably gave them to her, but she chose to leave them here rather than run the risk of being accused of theft. It is understandable when you know just how much Lady Clark mistrusted her. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
But that thing, they say is for poisoner. Can't be that.
Thorgray had no reason to kill someone who only had few months left to live. The poison she ordered was for rats. The gardener must have made good use of it, considering the stinking remains on the path, not far from the property. I've finished here. I must put the skeleton key back and inform Hastings that I'm returning to London.
Bye, guys. Give me a while. Ah, look at that! I forgot where he died.
May you have peace, Carmichael. Charlotte.
Oh. Oh, you need to do that. Like streams of light coming down here. Boat house is completely pitch black. And at night. Oh.
Clark's greenhouse. It must hold some rare plants.
Very rare. I don't like the chips bad styles.
I must put the skeleton key back.
The skeleton key is in the trophy, weren't it? Very unique. I loved it.
Après le night.
Wait, no. They're into use.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, that is actually something to use that on.
Hello, Hastings. I have finished in Shurston. I will take the first train.
Yes, you just have to soak a cloth with a hydrochloric acid solution and rub...
Bien. You have been of great assistance, Hastings.
Of course, but what document...
You will see, my friend.
So it's linked all together that the 3 murders were faked on one real motive.
Donald Fraser is here. He...
Fraser, I haven't got time for you. And give me a moustache. Okay, first up, in a newspaper story. Here we are.
Daily Blag, August 31, 1935. Moustache at half-mast. Poirot's repeated failure in ABC case. Sometimes small things troubled great men. Hastings, faithful collaborator of the Belgian detective, knows something about it. 3 mornings in a row, he confided to us, the cook broke the egg yolks when preparing Poirot's breakfast. This apparently casual event has greatly disturbed my friend, to the point it breaks his concentration and slows his judgment. I also noticed his moustache, of which he is so proud, being duller than usual.
Poirot, I assure you I haven't said any such thing to the journalists. They twist everything.
Now.
Hmm.
There's something key. Let's go and get the key. Has you seen his famous moustache? I hate that. Anyway. So thank you to whoever was watching it. I want to see you viewed it. Right now I'm going to just reviewing this because I want to.
Royal Mathematical and Statistical Society's Bulletin, September the 9th, 1935. The Alphabet Murder, a methodical madman. It's highly probable that the alphabet murderer will kill again. Could we possibly estimate the number of victims in his next crime? Yes, and it is easy. As soon as we know the ratio of towns, cities and villages whose names begin with a D and the ratio of English people whose names are spelled the same. On the one hand, the ratio of towns, cities and villages in England with a name starting with D, and on the other hand, the ratio of English people with a name also starting with D. After this initial calculation, it is easy to deduce the likelihood of actually being murdered if you belong to the target population. Go to the last page to find our results and details on the calculations.
Is there someone watching it right now? Because I'm not watching it. No, they're not now. Okay. Why?
This bottle is for our visitors. Personally, I prefer the sherry.
Love that. This business of the vision. Basically, I prefer the sherry. Please tell me I can't. The cleaning kit. The cleaning kit is going to be something different. Oh.
This man is tired.
Let's have a little look. Crumpled clothes. Dark circles. Unshaven.
Donald is short of sleep, and it looks as if he didn't even bother to undress before going to bed.
Donald, you lovely, lovely man.
Mr. Poirot, I don't know why I'm here.
You wanted to talk, and you came to find the only man capable of hearing you.
Mr. Poirot, since Betty's death, I've doubts about myself. I don't know what to do. And I keep having a horrible dream 3 nights in a row.
Have a drink, and tell me about this dream.
I wanna know.
It's always the same. I'm on the beach with Betty. I grab her round the throat, and I squeeze, and squeeze until she's dead. Her head falls back, and I see that it's no longer Betty. It's Megan's face.
Have you seen Megan Barnard recently?
Yes, our grief has brought us together. I never really knew her before. She's really quite a remarkable girl.
I bet she is in bed.
But I would never tell her about my dream.
Why not? Is it her you are attacking in your dream?
No, it's Betty. And once Betty is dead, it's Megan's face that appears in its place.
Very interesting. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Get those brain cells working, boys and girls. If you want to play this against me, you're gonna... Lord, it's not a face from Megan. He feels guilty about abandoning Betty, of course.
Mr. Fraser, I think that the real meaning of this dream is that you are in love with Megan Barnard.
Please go on. Do.
This dream certainly betrays your guilt.
Oh.
But what do you feel guilty about? Having killed your fiancé? Possible. Or forgetting her very quickly for her sister? Certainly. And this forgetting is perceived as a second death.
So you don't really think I was the one who killed Betty?
I do not exclude this theory. I am simply saying that I do not need to know that fact to explain your dream and your guilt.
Thank you for being frank, Mr. Poirot. You've helped me a great deal. I'm going back to Bexhill. I'll not take any more of your time up.
It is late, Mr. Fraser, and you are tired.
I'll sleep on the train. I like trains. It's easy to sleep right by the sound of the wheels.
I like trains.
Poor boy, he seems completely lost.
Well, women seem to like him. I think Megan will take care of him.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. Did you order the product I needed?
Yes, we'll be receiving it tomorrow.
Bien, it is late, and I asked Miss Grey to come tomorrow morning. I have a few questions I wish to ask her.
Indeed he does. By few he means wants to know why she did lie. And I know I'm coming!
Mademoiselle, I asked you here in order to answer a very important question. Tell me about your meeting with the murderer.
But what are you talking about?
Yet, Lady Clark maintained that she saw you talking to a stranger on the front doorstep.
Really? She must have been mistaken. Oh, I remember now. I'd forgotten all about it, but it wasn't important. It was just a salesman. One of those traders who sell stockings from door to...
Ironic! Get it? He sells stockings. That's how Mr. Clark, that's how Cass does the murders. He finds someone who needs stockings, gets them to buy them, and then kills that person.
The door.
Can you describe him to me?
Medium size. Glasses. Dark suit and a felt hat. Not the sort of man you notice. Completely harmless. That's why I forgot all about him.
Nothing else?
He was very hesitant and shy. Usually door-to-door salesmen are very confident. But he wasn't.
You also forgot to tell me that you had been fired.
You never asked me. It was Franklin who led you to believe that I left voluntarily. He's more chivalrous than you. I don't wish to lie. Lady Clark did not appreciate my presence. And Franklin could not go against the wishes of a sick lady. He is a good man, and he worries a great deal about his sister-in-law.
I noticed that you left some personal belongings behind at Churston. It was too risky for you to keep these objects, am I correct?
Risky? What was the risk?
You know very well what Lady Clark might have said if you had kept these objects.
Indeed. These objects were gifts. But Lady Clark would have been convinced that I'd stolen them. By returning them, I put an end to such evil gossip.
Bien. I must ask you one last question. Please reply frankly with either yes or no. If Lady Clark had died, would you have agreed to marry Sir Carmichael if he'd asked you?
How dare you ask such a question? Sir Carmichael treated me just like his daughter. And all that I ever felt him was affection and gratitude, nothing else.
Thank you, mademoiselle. I will not keep you any longer.
She was having an affair with Mr. Carmichael.
I met Thora Grey on the stairs. Her cheeks were ablaze, and she appeared to be deeply hurt. Poirot, have you offended the poor girl again? Do you have good reasons for accusing her?
I accused her of nothing, Hastings. I simply asked her an important question she did not answer. Let us see if we can answer it for her.
She was having an affair.
Let us now try.
Following marriage, Sandy would have succeeded in doing so.
You must know how to read between the lines, Hastings. When Sir Carmichael refers to paternal affection, he is lying to himself. Read this engraving on the brooch. A dark dragon for an angel with glossy hair. These are the words of a lover, not a father. Lady Clark was not wrong.
What if Sir Carmichael had fallen in love with his secretary? That doesn't mean that she forced him to do so.
True, there are extenuating circumstances. She is a penniless orphan. But she is calculating. Just look how she avoided it when asked if she would have married Clark.
I see. You think she seduced Sir Carmichael for her own gain, and that now she is doing the same with his brother. Poirot, your world is a very dark place.
Do not get carried away, mon ami. We have another more...
Really?
Yes. Would you believe that Miss Grey taught me something new? Let us now try and...
The victim was someone close to them were in a situation where they could buy stockings.
It's perfectly clear, Hastings. Perfectly clear. Indeed, a stocking seller visited Andover, Bexhill and Churston on the day of each murder. We have our suspect. This should be of interest, Jap.
I'll put it out.
Chief Inspector, we are looking for a stocking salesman.
I see you have a suspect.
Yes. Contact all the stocking wholesalers who may employ him.
Your suspect is a salesman?
No, he does not take orders. He sells door to door.
Right. The hunt is on.
The hunt is on, mon amis. Doncaster.
Are you leaving, Mr. Cust?
Yes, I'm going to Cheltenham.
You shouldn't travel today. You don't look very well.
I have to. I have engagements. I must respect them.
Of course he has to. Mr. Cust.
Can you get the post, Ace?
And why don't you go...
Très bien. What's going on?
This is no sign I don't. This is no sign I don't.
Daily Blag, August 31. Sometime 3 months. This
Poirot.
Royal Mathematical and Statistical Society's bulletin. It's highly... Yes. On the one hand, after, go to the last page.
Let's make haste to Doncaster!
Poor Mr. Poirot. I'm quite sorry for you. If at first you don't succeed, try again. We've a long way to go still. Typery? No, that comes later. Letter T. Next little incident will take place in Doncaster on September 11th. So long, ABC. I should compare this letter.
Quick thing. Oh, there's something new here.
It is now the right time.
It's Doncaster, we have to make haste. To catch a killer. Thinking.
Let us examine this more closely. Certain characters in... Yes, That's right. I have to find some others. Yes, this eye. Yes, the eye. I have to find some other. It... Of course. My theory was right. Hastings, he strikes tomorrow. Chief Inspector Japp?
He's on another line. Can I take a message?
Yes, please, mademoiselle. It is from Hercule Poirot. Tell him ABC strikes tomorrow in Doncaster. He must call me back.
Very well, sir.
Bien, now I'm going to see what I can find from these burnt documents. I've received the product I need. Hastings, if you do not mind, I would like you to take a few notes.
Yes, yes.
I've finished with this. down to work. One of these needs putting in order a little.
I will put order in order.
This piece should be placed here. This does not look too difficult.
Say it now, Paul.
This page is child's play. This page is finished. That's done. 3 more to go.
Blah, 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 blah.
This page is finished. And that's 2 done. It's easier than I thought. This page is finished. Only 1 more. Keep going. This piece should be placed here. This page is finished. A bottle of solvent. A bottle of solvent. A bottle of solvent. A dry cloth. A dry cloth. A dry cloth. A dry cloth. A bottle of solvent. A dry cloth. A bottle of solvent. A bottle of solvent. A bottle of solvent. A dry cloth. A dry cloth. A dry cloth. A dry cloth. The cloth is now... Got it! Make a note, Hastings, make a note. Mrs. Alisasha, shop owner in Andover. Tracheitis, hemoptysis, prescribed laudanum.
I got it. Look. Poirot, where on earth did you find these files?
On a fire at the bottom of the garden at Campside.
All right, but where did the person who burned them find them?
Betty Barnard, waitress in Bexhill. Chronic bronchitis, causing dysphonia. Advised to stop smoking.
Ah! Kind of ironic now, really. Kills someone who owns a tobacco shop. Kills a smoker.
Alexander Bonaparte Cust. While wounded, mustard gas and head trauma. Pulmonary emphysema. Hemoptysis. Coughing fits with blood. Suffers from absences and amnesia. Dick Dudley Dunbar, owner of the Black Swan Hotel in Doncaster. Asthmatic, heart disease, heart condition.
Dunbar, the next victim! Wait. Oh, and what's the lady?
Alice Asher, shopkeeper in Andover. Let us now try.
Okie dokie.
The burned documents are medical records and...
But why burn these files?
These are very...
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to you say, get the dick! Dick, whatever the fucking name is.
Hello, Poirot?
Any news?
You wanted a stocking seller? We have one. Reported by his landlady, who thought he was behaving suspiciously. He has the most unbelievable name.
Dick Dudley Dunbar.
You're wrong. It's a serious lead.
Cust is at the gin.
What, Poirot?
It appears that all our hope...
Look at the fourth file. Dick...
Mon Dieu, Hastings, bien sûr. It's the fourth victim. We must warn...
I got it wrong.
Hello, the Black Swan.
Speaking.
Is there Mr. Cust among your guests?
He arrived today. Shall I call him for you?
No, it is you.
But who is this Cust?
A murderer.
A murderer? Do you think that Cust might be dangerous? Oh, I do hope you're wrong. He seems so harmless, you know. Oh, yes.
We must not overestimate.
What should I do?
Watch him. If he leaves the hotel, watch where he is heading. I'll call the police in Doncaster.
Oh, indeed. I shall keep out of the way.
Hello, Poirot. We have some good news. The police in Doncaster, while we're waiting to question Cust...
Where does he live?
The Marbury Guest House.
I see.
Yes, but start without me. First of all, I have to sort out...
I understand.
I messed
Hastings,
up.
we are making... The dentist.
A visit to the dentist is never an enjoyable...
But an unavoidable one. Go to your appointment, Hastings.
Ah, that's what it was. He had an appointment with the dentist. And Paul almost
To
died.
Marbury Guest House.
How do you do? You must be Mr. Hercule Poirot. Chief Inspector Judd told me that you might be coming.
Bravo, not Bravo. Bravo.
Madame, you may be of valuable help to me.
It would be my pleasure to help you. Will there be some journalists there as well?
I think you might even be interviewed. You are key witness.
I've suspected him for some time, but he appeared so harmless. Oh yes, sometimes he got angry and waved his arms about. But even then, he wasn't frightening. And he was as gentle as a lamb again immediately afterwards. It was only this morning that I understood. He told me he was going to Cheltenham, but my daughter saw him at Euston Station. It's not the right station. To get to Cheltenham, you have to take the train from Paddington. And what's more, Mr. Cuss left behind an ABC with Doncaster underlined. As you can imagine, when I saw that, I called Scotland Yard.
Well done. You were right. He did go to Doncaster.
So I was right to warn the police.
Tell me, did you have any other reason to suspect Mr. Cust?
Well, he's odd. Sometimes he coughs really loudly and complains that his throat is burning, and sometimes he talks to himself and stares into space. He told me that it was because of a wound he got in the wall. His head hasn't been quite right since, he said. And then he was in Churston when that millionaire got murdered. I found his train ticket when I washed his coat. He didn't want me to wash his shirt. He washed it himself. But I did see big brown stains on it.
Blood stain.
Where were the stains on the shirt?
On the collar and on the buttonholes.
Cust used to travel for his work. Is that correct?
Oh, it wasn't for pleasure. He was always unwell on trains. But he had to sell his stockings around England. I have to respect my engagements, he used to say.
Do you know where Cust was at the time of the murder in Andover and Bexhill? On June the 21st and July the 25th?
No, I don't know. That was a while ago, you know.
But surely you keep a register.
It won't do you much good. Mr. Cuss rents his room for the year. If he goes away for a few days, I have no reason to make a note of it. Ah! I remember one thing. Bexhill's by the sea, right?
Indeed. It is a large seaside resort.
Well, as it happens, at the start of July, Mr. Cust asked me to repair his bathing dress. Suspicious, huh?
Very interesting. Please continue.
I also forgot to say that he started buying newspapers that talked about the case.
When did he start buying the newspapers?
Let's see. I think it was just after the millionaire's murder in Churston. He didn't seem all that interested before that.
That will be all for now. I'm going to take a look at his room.
Take the key on the counter.
Is it related to Churston?
I should check the register. Mrs. Marbury.
I don't think my register will help you. Mr. Cuss rents his room all year. If he goes away for a few days, I have no reason to make a note of it.
The truth is becoming apparent, and I have something to say to Mrs. Marbury. This woman appears to be in a good mood. Mrs. Marbury is in a good mood. She's working very precisely in producing incredibly thin peel. Mrs. Marbury, if I am to believe the register, you rented room 306 to a certain Mr. Fishman on the day of the Bexhill murder? Room 306 is Cust's room. Can you explain yourself?
Yes, I remember. Just for one night as a favour. Mr. Cust was away, all my other rooms were taken, and poor Mr. Fishman had nowhere to go.
You rented the same room to two people. Very profitable, but quite illegal.
But I didn't harm anyone. I was only helping everybody out.
Trousers, white shirts. Everything has been washed very well. All the main articles referring to the ABC case are here, from the Churston murder onwards. Nothing before that date. The Bexhill Daily Paper, dated from the day of the Bexhill murder. Most probably the bathing dress repaired by Mrs. Marbury's expert hands. A long-bladed knife. A murderer's weapon. This subject will probably be useful to me.
Do a toilet customer later on, yes.
The register it's an ABC. John Milligan, Managing Director, Silky Legs, Frederick Street, Leicester. To A.B. Cust, Marbury's Guest House, 1935, May the 21st. Dear Sir, further to our letters dated 5th and 10th of the month, we confirm we are you as door-to-door salesman, according to the conditions stated in our previous letters. We will send you the articles by mail and also a Redfield typewriter. Regarding the schedule of your rounds, please do as following. June 21, Andover. Arrive by train the 20th in the evening. This letter establishes that Cust went to Andover, but the ink has hidden the destinations of his other trips. I know from Mrs. Marbury that he went to Churston. I just have to show that he went to Bexhill, and I will have... Did Cust drop it when he opened the window, or was it Mrs. Marbury? Cust is parsimonious. He keeps his pencils and sharpens them until there is nothing left. It is... I have to get the ribbon. How am I going to do it? The ribbon is jammed. I have to stop. Something is blocked. The left-hand heel has been removed. The right-hand heel has been removed. Something is blocking. And here is the ribbon. Let it... I only need the ink ribbon for my inquiry. I will let... All the letters announcing the murders were written on...
Perfect.
Laudanum Cameron's chemists. Laudanum, a medicine. The subject would probably.
Oh, is that presumed on
Diethyl barbituric acid. I know this medicine. The subject would probably.
Suspect, victim, 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 victim.
How awful. This place is a real mess. The least we can say that Mr. Cust is not very concerned about order and balance.
Ah, no news.
ABC guys in. This knife is very useful. Who knows? Maybe it never cut anything other than string.
No.
Stockings.
Stockings. Ta-da!
It is now the right time. It is now the right time.
Oh, here.
War of 1914-1918. By the King's order, the name of Corporal A.B. Cust, Devonshire Regiment, was published on the London Gazette on May the 10th. An army dispatch, wounded on the Somme front, victim of a gas attack.
So, you cover from 250.
It is now the right time.
What else am I missing here? No. What am I missing?
The least we can say that Mr. Cust is not very concerned about order and balance.
Oh, down here.
This dark stain. It could be blood, but goodness knows how long it has been there. No use continuing the... Goodbye, Mrs. Marple.
Bye.
Ah, Chief Inspector.
Good evening, Chief Inspector. Welcome. Please
I'm sorry I'm late.
I have established one fact. On 3 I had best talk to Jap. I had best talk.
I've listened closely to what you have to say, Poirot. For me, there's no doubt Cust is guilty. Do you have any element that might prove the contrary?
That is what we're going to look for. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
The evidence against Cust is overwhelming. His presence at the scenes, the knife, the blood-stained shirt, the ABC's in a box.
C'est vrai. However, the blood Mrs. Marbury saw on Cust's shirt may have been his own. According to his medical records, he suffers from hemoptysis. The murderer cut Sir Carmichael's throat from behind, and the blood spurted outwards. You would expect the murderer's shirt to be stained on the sleeves, not on the buttonholes, yet we see quite the opposite. You would expect the murderer to keep the newspaper articles about his crimes. But Cust's collection starts in Cheston, as if it discovered the case rather late.
I agree it's troubling, but it doesn't change my mind. There's small details that we should be able to clear up by questioning Cust.
When can we talk to him?
Doncaster is sending him to us on the first train.
Are they questioning him already?
He says he can't remember a thing.
It's plausible. Doctors say he suffers from absences and amnesia. Mrs. Marbury.
He may have done the murders.
A familiar situation.
It's not enough to clear his name. Dr. Thompson insisted that even if you don't know what you're doing, you never commit a...
Très intéressant.
Right.
Chief Inspector, I took the liberty of removing a few clues to examinatum.
All right, we'll discuss them to...
Okay. Cust is not the killer. Okay? I will tell you who the killer is. The killer is actually Franklin.
To Scotland Yard, please.
To Scotland Yard? Yes, we are going to Scotland. Okay,
This man is not in good shape.
Okay. Oh. Low lies. Shaking hands. Couple jacket.
He is worried and very tired, and other police have been hard on him.
What do you want from me?
Good day, ABC. Do you know who I am?
Someone who's got it in for me.
I am Hercule Poirot, and I want nothing other than the truth.
Ah, you're the detective.
Yes, I am the person you have been sending the letters to.
I didn't write these letters. I've already said so.
Très bien. You did not hide these letters. But the question remains, who did?
Probably one of my enemies. I have many.
I do not believe that you are capable of murder, Mr. Cust.
I hope not.
It is Rustin.
You enjoyed the war, Cust. Admit it.
I didn't want to be discharged.
Take this. It will help you.
Thank you.
Told ya! He's not the killer. It's actually Franklin who's the killer.
Oh, good God, my shirt is covered in blood again.
Bon, are you well enough to speak?
Yes, I feel much better.
You suffered during the war.
It's true. I was wounded. I suffered. But the army was the only place I didn't feel inferior. No questions. Just orders to follow.
But ever since you were wounded, you have absences, bouts of amnesia.
And headaches.
Indeed.
Professor Clark treated you.
Yes, a few years ago he really helped me with my burned throat.
Of course, you never considered killing a doctor who took such good care of you.
No, no, never.
Do you deny being at the scene of the crimes?
So? There was no harm in being there. It was only for my work.
You were seen at all the crime scenes.
Yes, I was. I travel a lot, but not for pleasure. I am terribly unwell in trains. But I had to respect my engagements. My employer gave me very precise written instructions about the towns I had to visit.
His employee, or employer, is Nolan! Dr. Clark's brother, who wants the money from the inheritance that he will claim, is being arrested because he was working for Frank. Then, because Franklin killed the other people, but he wanted it to look like Cust was the murderer, so Cust take the fall. At that point, him and Miss Gray would be long gone.
Let's see. The company you claim to work for, Silky Legs, has never heard of you. And as for these letters they sent you, they were written on your own typewriter.
The company sent me the typewriter when I started working for them.
Yes, but the letters were received afterwards. So it would appear that you typed them before sending them to yourself.
I don't remember.
It's not him.
Good God! I don't know what's happening to me. My head hurts terribly.
We need sedative.
Take this. It will help you.
Expensive. It's not got nothing out.
Oh, I think I'll be fine.
Let us see, Cust. Look at me. You know very well that you committed this.
Yes.
But I'm not wrong in saying that you do not know why you
No, I don't.
Didn't commit him.
Let us leave Cust.
Didn't commit him.
And what conclusion?
Plenty. It might help us to understand. Let us now try and get...
I married citizens. He's not guilty. It's Frank who killed everyone.
I don't see any clearer than before. This is worse.
There is one point to highlight. C'est curieux. Cust admits that he killed, but he does not know why. What did Dr. Thompson say? Even if Cust killed while in an altered state, it still must have been his deepest desire. He must have had a motive.
Let's keep it simple. Never mind his motive. He confessed.
But you see, he can confess to anything and everything. He denied the murders and then confessed to them. He confirmed that he never typed the letters. Then, with great ease, I managed to get him say quite the opposite.
Come on, he behaved like a guilty man. He lied to his landlady. How can you be...
Let us look at his psychological... Let us now try and...
That's not like train. It is. Right. He's cold. Measly. Miserably. Miserly. It's not generous.
You see? Kusk.
But if he's a madman, can we...
You know very well that our murderer does not behave like a psychopath. Apart from the signature, there is no ritual.
Very well, very well. You're right, as always. So, we have...
Have faith.
We have one more person, and it is... Franklin. I believe it is Franklin.
To White Heaven, please.
White Heaven. Now, there's a reason why the letter... So...
Cust's arrest is a great success for you, Poirot. It's all clear now, except me.
Details. Patience, Hastings. Everything will be clear once our guests arrive. Best be prepared. Slip a revolver into your pocket before they do.
A revolver? But
trust me. It is important.
What about telling me what...
Surtout pas. You wouldn't be able to play your role. Wait one moment, I will bring you my weapon.
Now. I'll put it... So. I'm just playing. So, C for Clark, the rich guy. That letter deliberately was late. It was a deliberate misaddress because if you think about it, all that was I'd bang on top of him to get to him. Why? Because, my friends, it is imperative that this happens.
Churston, Devon.
Yep, I've been to Devon. I've been in let's just talk the names about it.
Hastings' photo album. He's very proud of his bag.
It is in this weapon cabinet.
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets. The revolver is loaded with real bullets. I still have time to choose blanks. The revolver is loaded with blanks. I still have...
Wait, what?
The white ammunition are blank cartridges. The others are real bullets. The revolver is loaded with real...
No. Not blank.
The revolver is...
I believe in blanks you want.
Voila, I entrust you with my weapon. It has hardly been used. It is almost...
Blank though, because you don't want to kill him. If you can get these.
Chief Inspector, is that you?
Yes. Sorry.
Have you checked the typewriter?
And the packaging, the letter, and the ribbon reel. We've owned.
Well, no.
So, are you still?
Of course, Chief Inspector. I can hear my guess.
Here we go.
Why have you brought us here, Mr. Poirot?
Since Cuss' arrest, I thought it was all done and dusted. Miss Grey formally identified him, as well as Miss Barnard.
Yes, and the stockings he saw drove the same brand as the ones found at my aunt's.
This is all true. However, a case is not closed if some questions remain open. And one question is, why did the murderer send me his letters? Why did...
I may be wrong, but...
All these theories should be studied. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Okay. The part about his games, yeah. Tell you, detection mistake.
Is everything clear now?
You might like to explain your reasoning again.
Of course. First of all, remember that the murderer made it a rule to always post his letter before the murder. He never digressed from that rule. However, in Churston, he encountered a problem. The village has only 500 inhabitants. With advance warning, it would be easy to arrest him. Therefore, the murderer delayed his letters deliberately with the wrong address. The plan wouldn't have worked if he'd sent it to Scotland Yard or the papers because everybody knows their addresses. The mistake would have been corrected and the letter would have been on time. That is why the murderer chose me as the recipient.
Because for his plan to succeed, it was necessary for at least one of the letters to have a wrong address and get lost. It was very cunning.
Absolument. It is a very subtle plan. It matches the profile we have drawn up of him perfectly. That of an intelligent, daring and calculating murderer.
But that's not how you describe Cust.
You are quite right, mademoiselle. Like you, I find it hard to believe that this dull character is the clever murderer we are looking for.
Do madmen... I mean, if he's mad, he might have two very different sides.
No doubt. But the murderer is not mad. All the specialists agree that he does not have the profile of the psychopath.
But if Cust is not guilty, how do you explain his presence at the scene of the crimes?
Mr. Clark, the answer to your question is in the medical records of your brother's patients. Documents which Cust most certainly did not have access to. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work. Dr. Clark's patients' records provided a very useful list of potential victims, sorted by alphabetical order. The killer definitely used it, explaining the fact that all the victims were former patients of the doctor. It is this fact that clears Cust once and for all, because he never had access to these records. So how did he happen to be at the scene of the crimes? Either the murderer sent him there, or Cust was following him closely. Cust's highly suggestible nature leads us to the second hypothesis. The murderer was manipulating him. He systematically sent Cust to the towns where he was going to strike, so that the suspicion would land on the poor man's shoulder.
That's evil. What's...
Indeed, it seems...
My area! This is where...
Just one murder was of benefit to the murderer. The others were just diversions. On reflection, there is only one conclusion. The murderer killed once out of interest and twice to divert our attention. This reasoning points at two potential culprits.
Franklin Clark?
Donald Fraser?
Yes, mademoiselle. That's good thinking. Mr. Fraser may have killed Betty out.
But Donald did not have access to Dr. Clark's...
Please allow me to disagree with you. He works for Court and Brunskill, one of whose clients was Sir Carmichael.
It doesn't prove that I went to Comeside.
You could have done it, and you may have used the opportunity.
You think I'm guilty?
You or Mr. Franklin Clark?
That's ridiculous.
Both of you have a motive.
It
It is now true.
is Mr. Clark! So he's clever. But it's not his influence, but it is his influence, so it's... He's a seducer. But 1 point as that's James. The other 4. That is quick-tempered, not cold and impulsive. But, so, it's not him, it is Mixter! Thank God!
Ladies and gentlemen, Donald may share many character traits with the murderer, but he does not have his cold indifference. He has a temper. It is hard to imagine him planning anything. Also, jealousy is his motive, and crimes of passion are rarely planned.
Right, I suppose it's my turn to be subjected to the same scrutiny.
Absolument, Mr.
Mr. Clark!
Let us now try.
You are guilty! He was clever! Oh, put there. Uno. 1. He's self-confident. Very fucking himself. And it's a seducer. Yeah, he's read the married children. And last but not least, cold. And it's without a doubt, Mr. Franklin Clark.
As you have all seen, there is a disturbing similarity between Mr. Clark's profile and that of the killer. In actual fact, it is exactly the same.
Mr. Poirot, your psychological studies are interesting, but your conclusions do not add up. Why would I have wished my brother's death? The inheritance is lawfully mine. I just have to wait.
No, you had to act quickly. Because of Miss Grey. Mademoiselle, although you haven't been telling the truth, there is no doubt in my mind that you would have found a way to marry Sir Carmichael after Lady Clark's death. For you, Mr. Clark, it was a disaster. If Miss Grey had children by your brother, you would not have inherited a thing. You realized the danger after reading several letters from Comeside, especially one in which your brother opened his heart to you. So, in truth, Cust was no more than a puppet. You, Mr. Clark.
Such an imagination, Mr. Poirot. In fact, nobody manipulated Cust. The famous instructions he received by post. He wrote them on the typewriter.
Oh, no. You know perfectly well. That is not true. Eh bien, voilà. Light has now been shed on the ABC murders.
Your theories are ingenious.
One point to him. For the moment, I have no material proof. Either I admit to it, or I bluff. Typewriter.
Enough.
Oh, of course you wiped the typewriter before sending it. But not carefully enough. Scotland Yard has found your print along with those of Cust.
I understand why you never wanted to lend me your new typewriter. And why you were searching through your brother's things. And the hole you dug on the moors. What did you hide there? The knife you used to kill your brother?
Game, set, match. You win, Mr. Poirot. But it was worth trying.
I know about one thing, but you bluff, because that is what Poirot would do.
Don't come near me! I'll never let you take me, Mr. Poirot!
I'm sorry, Mr. Clark. There is no easy death for you. I expected your reaction, so I used blanks. I'm sorry, mademoiselle, but your second chance has been lost. Franklin Clark will never inherit his brother's fortune.
Told you! Don't try to bloke! Don't look young Japs.
Disappointed at having missed the chance to become Lady Clark, Thora Grey left England. Donald Fraser and Megan Barnard married. On Poirot's recommendation, Mary Drower started to work for Lady Clark. The elderly lady's condition suddenly took a turn for the better. And a few months later, to Dr. Logan's great surprise, she was back on her feet again. According to this eminent physician, it appears to be an extremely rare case of spontaneous remission. Lady Clark has enjoyed very good health ever since. Journal of an Innocent, the incredible story of ABC. As for A.B. Cust, after being advised by Poirot, he made a great deal of money by selling his story to the press. And as for me, and with business booming, the Black Swan has become the #1 tourist attraction in the whole of Yorkshire, even more popular than York Minster.
Games. But please do another. You know, it was so well made. And the voices, it was so well done. So well done. Very well done. Very well made. Swallow? Brilliant. Please release another one. Let's get this. I'm gonna end this here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. With Daily Lands again.